All right, we're actually parked, well, we're parked in the Finley River. We're on a low water bridge that goes across the Finley on Olga Road, and we're looking upriver. So the property, it does have direct frontage on the Finley. As we look upriver, the Finley bends to the right up there, and that's where the property has the direct river frontage. Gorgeous, gorgeous section of the Finley. It's very clear. You can actually see the fish in it. You can look downstream a little bit there, downriver. So the low water bridge, pretty common here in the Ozarks. It's basically a concrete slab built across the river, and you drive right across it. The water flows across it. If the water gets super high, some people still cross them, but I would come in from the east if the water got too high. Okay, so the property does have direct frontage on Olga Road that we'll see in just a moment here. It's actually on both sides of Olga Road. Okay, and I've got to get out the MapRight app, and we've got that on the tablet. We'll get that MapRight app out and take a look at this. Okay, so we just looked at the MapRight map, and we're actually just a few hundred feet from the property. On both sides of Olga Road, coming up in just a couple hundred feet. This is a huge tract. I actually don't have the size. Unfortunately, I don't have the size on the map I'm looking at, but this looks like one of the largest tracts out here. Okay, so MapRight is showing us we just crossed onto the property, so it's on both sides of the county road. I can see all kinds of mature timber. As we look to the left, that's going to go out to the Finley River, and this tract has an amazing amount of river frontage, by the way. Just an immense amount. As we go right, that slopes up, and that's where we'll find that large level meadow area, which would be the prime building site on this property. But the nice thing is you don't necessarily need to put in a driveway off of Olga Road up to that meadow, because you can take the easement road, which we'll do in a minute here, to get to that meadow area. But let's pull over for a second, and we'll kind of hop out and see what we can see here. So where we are here, we're roughly in the center of the road frontage. We had quite a bit of rain last night, so you see some puddles on the county road here, but looking easterly, land is on both sides. And as I look to the right, to the south side of the road, you can see it slopes up steeply up toward that meadow area. But look at all the big timber. Amazing. And going over to the other side of the road, the sun is setting, unfortunately, so everything looks a little dark, I'm sure, on the video. It rises up a little coming off the county road here, but then it seems to level off right away. And judging by the topo map, it stays basically level as you go toward the river, although there might be a few little rivulets where the river comes through. We really haven't checked that. You're welcome to create a trail to the river, four-wheeler trail or a walking trail or whatnot. It looks like the deer have been using a little trail there going up the hill, right between those two rocks. Actually, that's pretty cool, that big rock. If you look at the base of that rock, almost like a little cave that goes back in. And we have found several caves out here right in this area. I can't really see, but it looks like it goes underneath in there. beautiful rock. Wow. Look at this timber. It's enormous. So let's go ahead and we'll hop back in the truck and we will go check out that meadow area on the south side of the property. I see huge oak trees, huge walnut trees. As I look on the north side, I mean, I can see dozens of walnut trees just from where we stand here. That's phenomenal. After the property's been paid for in full, you're welcome to cut the timber, to sell the timber, to use it to build a home, or whatever you want to do after the property's been paid for. There is marketable walnut on this property, and as it gets bigger and bigger, it gets more and more valuable. Walnut is extremely valuable. As we look, well, there's another rock overhang on the property. Isn't that interesting? There could well be caves. We have not explored any of that area. Basically what you're seeing right now is what we've seen of this property. Very, very interesting. Looking toward the river. And this has a tremendous amount of river frontage. It really does. I think it has, if not the most of any tract out here, then pretty darn close. That area on the north side of the road, so on the right, as we look that way, if you wanted to turn that into a huge pasture or a garden area, it could certainly be done. I would guess that would be really good soil in there. So now we'll take Olga Road. We've just crossed over the property. So now we'll take Olga Road about another quarter mile to the east, and we'll take a right to head up to the easement road. Off to the left there, on a different property, you can see a big, beautiful meadow. So you can certainly do that on this tract by removing that timber on the north side of the road. Okay. So we've come to a Y in the road. We're going to go right. And now this is Rocky Rise Loop, I believe. So we go right, and this starts going up this hillside. And before we get to the top, you'll see that easement road on the right. Okay, so you look to the right, and you'll see the easement road. There may be a gate or a cable up. Let us know that you're coming out here, and we'll give you the combo for the lock. And you can pull right in. I don't think the guys have even really started doing anything to this roadway yet, so I'm sure they'll smooth it out and bring in some gravel. But this is a private easement road. It's just for the property owners out here, the few property owners in this very small rural development. And this is what's going to give us that access to the meadow on the south side of the property, which is obviously where you'd want to build to be high and dry and be completely out of the flood zone. Pretty fantastic to have a property with that much frontage on the Finley River and still has a large area out of the flood zone where you can build. There are so many deer out here. I talked to the guys about 20 minutes ago. They were out here doing some mowing and some odds and ends today, and they said they saw at least a dozen deer out here today. Okay. So I've got to look at the MapRight map to have a look at this here. I've got it on the iPad. Okay, so we open that up. There we go. We're in the process of having these tracts surveyed, by the way. This roadway we're on, this easement road, this is going to be a surveyed and deeded permanent easement, so that is covered. And we'll go just another few hundred feet, and we'll be on the property once again. This is where MapRight comes in handy. I mean, even once the survey is complete and the corners are marked, MapRight is fantastic for telling, you know, when you get to the property, how to get to the property, where you are on the property. Okay, we've just crossed over onto the property. So this is the south side right here. We're gonna pull a little more toward the middle, and then we'll cut to the north. Okay. So you've actually got a pretty sizable area of high and dry buildable meadow here. You can see that big timber on the north side of the meadow. And as I mentioned, this easement road is a dead-end road. It just ends a couple hundred feet after the property, so really, really private. As we head to the north, the property actually gets wider. So by the time you get to the river, it's at its widest, which is what gives you the hundreds of feet of direct river frontage. So as we mentioned earlier, when we were back down there on Olga Road, you're welcome to create a driveway coming off Olga Road directly up to this meadow. Yes, it is definitely steep, but anybody who knows what they're doing on a bulldozer could create a driveway for you. They'd basically start on one side and angle it right down there. I was hoping to see a couple deer right now, but really we're being pretty noisy. And the deer do not like that. So this actually stays level for a little ways once you go north off the meadow. Some very fresh deer prints out here. And then it begins to slope gradually. And then as you go a little further, that's where it gets steep. And that's what we saw from Olga Road. Look at that tall, straight timber everywhere. Gorgeous. There we go. So now you can see it. It's steep down to Olga. Oh man, that's a nice tree. We're looking right into the sun, so I know everything looks dark, but that is a beautiful oak tree. I mean, that's what the loggers want. Tall and straight and big. Excellent. So yeah, you've got the option of doing a private driveway off of Olga. Whether you do it right away or do it 20 years from now, you've got that option. In the meantime, you've got a deeded easement on that easement road to get right to the south side of the property. So as always, if you're not already on our website at InstantAcres.com, please check that out. You'll know right away if the property's available or not by going to the website. You can certainly call us in the office Monday through Friday, or you can just send us an email at sales@InstantAcres.com. Either way is good. Very, very rare tract to have a piece of acreage this close to Springfield, which is the largest city in southern Missouri, and one of the fastest growing cities in Missouri for sure, if not the nation. So we're close to Springfield, but we're very private. We've got the Finley River. I mean, fantastic. High and dry, big, beautiful building site. This is great. InstantAcres.com. We get very, very few properties like this. So if this is something you've been looking for, take a good hard look at it. Let us know if you have any questions. InstantAcres.com. We'd love to speak to you.